Welcome to Smart Conserver.
In my country, the smart meters were installed in our homes years ago. In fact, prior to the installation of these smart meters, we all had some analog meters. And then it was announced that all customers would be retrofitted with these smart meters in their homes. With the adverts and announcements, I really had the impression that the smart meters could really do more than we were told. Well, one thing about the smart meters that I did not know at the time was that it has the ability to assist our solar panels or the wind turbines to communicate with the grid. Note that these meters, they really are the last equipment on our homes that allow electricity to reach inside our homes. Now, every month you get an electricity bill, and as high as that bill may be, the reading as to the amount of electricity that you use is being recorded by the smart meters that are installed in your home. When I got my solar panels, even before getting the contract with the power company, I was shown that my smart meter had the ability to really tell me how much electricity I was selling or giving back to the power company. And I was also shown how my smart meter was able to show me how much electricity I was taking from the power company. Now, if you don't remember the contract that I'm speaking about, then I will place the vlog at the end of this one that you can click on it and refresh your memory. Now, let's speak about the electricity meters. I told you before that prior to the smart meters, we really had the analog ones, or these analog ones are what some persons would call the traditional meters. Those traditional meters had the little thing that looks like a clock. It had some dials on it that looks like a clock. A number of them, probably about 5 of them on these traditional meters. Now, with these traditional meters, the power company had to employ meter readers, and these meter readers would visit each house to get the meter reading for that household for the month. You know, really, what was the issue with these traditional meters? Well, it was one, the fact that the meter readers could make errors with the reading, and some of us would receive exorbitant electricity bills as a result of this error that the meter reader made. Or two, persons would receive estimated bills as at times the meter readers may not be available to even visit our homes. So, to correct all that, the information was really given to the householders that look here, we would soon receive these smart meters in our homes and eliminate those meter readers. Now, some of us as well were told that they tried to show us how to read the meters, the traditional meters with the dials, but it really didn't help. So, in order to cut costs, the power company decided to get some smart meters, and this would allow the power company to cease from employing meter readers, and the new smart meters could be read from the office of the power company. Now, the smart meters, just like the traditional one, it is able to measure energy consumption and also record what it measures. However, these smart meters are able to send that information digitally to the power company at any time that the system requires it for, for the passing of this information from the smart meters to the power company. Now, because the information is passed on to the power providers whenever they need it, then this information can be passed on to you. It can assist you in saving electricity. In my country, there's an app which is facilitated by the power company, and this app is able to tell you what your electricity consumption is, even on a daily basis. So at that point, you get the feeling now that the information is being passed from the smart meters to the power company. It's passed daily, or you would not be updated. You couldn't be updated via this app as to what your daily consumption is. Now, this really can guide you to make you aware of the amount of electricity that you have used up to yesterday, so that you can really conserve for the remaining days that's left in the month. Now, these same smart meters is the most important equipment for communicating with your solar panels. So, for example, when I went on vacation and no one was at home, there was no one really using this electricity, and yet the solar panels were producing the electricity. So the smart meter now was able to measure the surplus electricity I was sending back to the power grid. Now, when you send surplus electricity to the grid, it may be that one, you give the power company this surplus electricity for free as you don't have a contract. Two, you have a net metering contract with your power provider. Or three, like me, you have a net billing contract with your power provider. The solar panels now you have must be communicating with the smart meters before you can benefit from a net billing or net metering contract. If you have difficulty differentiating the two, that is net billing and net metering, then you can look from a vlog titled Net Metering versus Net Billing. That will guide you as well. If you look at a smart meter, it can tell you the meter number, the current date, the total electricity that the home has used since it was installed, and it can also tell you the total electricity that you have given back to the grid since your panels were installed. That is if you have solar panels. Now, if you want to find out the amount of electricity that you use for the month, then here is what you do. You need to take a look at the meter and look at the meter reading at the beginning of the month. And with this reading, you write it down. Write down the date as well when you took this meter reading. If possible, write the time down as well. Now, at the end of the month, do the same thing again. Read the meter again and write down all of that information. Now, what you're going to do is to subtract the smaller number from the bigger one, and the difference is a usage for the period. I have to do the same to find out how much electricity that my solar panels have produced that I did not use and that is being sent to the power grid. The smart meters, they're really easy to read. At first, you may be a bit confused as to what the numbers that are coming on and off on the display are, but look carefully. You will begin to see that one of those numbers will be your meter numbers. The meter number is also written on your meter, so just look for it on the display. Another set of numbers will show you, and if you look carefully, you may see the current date. The smart meters will be the way the equipment used for your panel to communicate with the grid. In fact, for those homes that have off-grid system that has its own little standalone plugs and switches and even light sockets, and those that are not attached any at all to the grid, then the smart meters really could not collect and communicate with anything any panels that you have back to the power grid because they're not connected. Now, the individual homeowners who have the grid tied or the hybrid solar power system will send They will need to get their information to pass through the meters so that they can communicate with the grid from these panels. Now, communication between the solar panel and the grid is not a bad thing. While it offers you the benefit of getting back some money, you can use a smart meter to your advantage to check to see if your little solar system is working as it should be, and if it's moving up in numbers each day to show you that you're really sending back to the grid. And also, it can help you to conserve if you feel that you have used too much electricity from the power providers. As smart conservers, you and I need to find ways to conserve, and understanding the link between the smart meters and our panels, even between the smart meters and our homes. Then we are able to use the required information to come up with conservation techniques and plans. So please, try and see if you can understand your smart meters and see how much you can conserve.
You have come to the end of another series. Join us next time for more ways to conserve.